say the Lord prosper you.
Amen.
It's on his baseball glove.
Yeah,
You'll see
praise
it.
God. That's
Baseball
good.
glove.
Tell you what, those mighty men, mighty young men.
Mighty young men.
Amen.
We need them because we want to work forever.
I know, right?
Retire one day.
Right. Wisdom will find a replacement.
Mm. How close you need this thing?
Right up on you.
Oh, right
Yeah.
up on you. Okay.
Yeah.
This been Corona
Test,
Quash?
test.
I'm joking.
Yeah, test the
No,
mic
that's why I
here.
bought these. I changed them out to make sure
Test,
when
test.
the Rona was
Okay,
around.
test. Welcome.
Here
Good
we
morning. Can I come up a little bit more?
Yeah.
Test. There.
You gotta remember I was turning it down, turn it
Down
up.
just.
turn it
Oh,
down.
you want me to adjust? I'll let you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord. It's a good day.
Wendy Yahoo.
All
Means
right.
I'm of the Great Spirit. It's called a morning song.
Oh yeah.
Wendy Yahoo. Yah.
I gotta turn that off for you guys. We're gonna get
Okay.
it being on the air. So.
We can't just randomly talk.
Yeah, you could.
And now the weather.
All right, 1 minute. Three to five. All right, here we go. 30 seconds.
I'll have Don Spencer calling in.
Okay. Don, stand by. There it is.
Good morning, Oklahoma. Welcome to 2A Tuesday. I told you it was coming, and it is here. So this morning, in just a second, I'm going to bring on Don Spencer to give us a Second Amendment update on what's happening in Oklahoma with regard to gun rights. And as he said before, he doesn't just focus on gun rights, but that's what he's known for. And we're going to get an update here in just a second from Don Spencer. In just a second, after the first break, I'm going to bring on my friend Jason Thomas. I've told you about him before. He was the father who stood up and spoke to his local school board and advocated for his son. And I thought it was such an important move, a bold, courageous stand for him to take a stand at his local school board. I think it's an example for us all of what is required in this day. This is, I believe, a central issue of our day of what's happening in our school, how involved are parents, what kind of voice does the parent have, and what are you going to do with that voice? And so here this morning I have a gentleman who has taken a stand, and we're going to hear from him in just a minute. And then after the half of the hour, then I'm going to bring on Scott Hassan. He is actually running for Deer Creek School Board. So the school board is the theme today. Going to learn all about it. What's happening in our public schools? That is a huge question all across the nation, but we're concerned with Oklahoma, correct? I mean, I think all of us are concerned mainly with what's happening in our local schools, what's being taught in the most conservative state in the union, and why is some of this junk being allowed? Thank God we do have a new state superintendent, Ryan Walters. I believe he's going to handle a lot of this stuff. So we do have him slated to come on later on the show. But right now we're going to hear from some grassroots men who are standing up to do what is needed in their community and in their local schools. So I'm excited about today. I think you're going to enjoy this show. Man, I got up, went to the gym this morning, as is my morning routine. Barely made it through all the snow. I mean, it was crazy. No, just kidding. So if you haven't made it outside yet, it's not quite white. So they say it's coming. So I hope you're loaded up with your bread and your milk. You know, you never know if you're going to be snowed in for the next few days. I think already there's several schools that have canceled. So enjoy that, mom and dads. At least you can send them out to play, and not in the snow just yet. But you can send them out to go walk the dog or something. So I think our girl is still going to school this morning. I haven't got the update from our school since I started this show. My wife is handling that, so we've kind of switched morning roles, and she is so thrilled about getting up in the morning. Just kidding, she is not the morning person, but she does what is needed, and that's what we need, is people who will do what's needed. So, man, lots to talk about today, but I want to get to my first guest. It is 2A Tuesday. So I'm going to welcome on Don Spencer. Don, are you there? Hey, good morning. Well, did you have you made it outside yet? I hear you. I hear you. It's brutal out there. You just never know in Oklahoma. I love our weathermen. I do, but it's funny sometimes. So we'll take it. Yeah. It's not a tornado, so praise the Lord. So what is happening with regard to our 2A rights here in Oklahoma? Nice. Right. Right. Love Senator Murdoch. Had a chance to serve with him in the Senate. I think he is a true conservative doing good things. In the last couple of years, I think that has been a legitimate concern concerning ammo, because you would go to your local gun store and you might only be able to buy one box of ammo. It was limited. I would think that this would be something Governor Stitt would be fully behind, not only because of his conservative views concerning guns, but also because of his desire to make Oklahoma a top 10 state economically. And what a great move to bring an ammo manufacturer here to Oklahoma. Nice. That's encouraging. Now, to go back and just touch on this private information being given to the government, and we're talking about during okay. Right, and we're seeing this, obviously, more attention given to this, especially in the realm of social media and this public-private partnership, this government working with a private company in order to ascertain individuals' information, their private statements or whatever. Exactly. Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you for bringing that to our attention. That is concerning, and to know where the source is coming from through credit cards. So. Absolutely. Is there anything that we can tell our listeners to do, any action steps we can tell them to take that would help this? Yes, sir. Absolutely. That's awesome. Great advice. You guys stay informed, stay connected. Thank you, Don, for your time here this morning. I will plan on seeing you next 2A Tuesday. That's right. Get that firewood ready. Nice. Okay, we'll see you later. All right, great things from Don Spencer, an update. So you guys stay in tuned. You might follow Senator Murdoch and these bills that he's advancing, that he's pushing. So thank God that we have a conservative governor who is behind this, who would protect our Second Amendment rights. That's great. Remember to pray for your elected leaders. Pray for your senator, pray for your representative, pray for your governor, your city council, your school board. Be intentional about prayer because prayer works. God hears, and we need to do this. This is the first step in protecting our liberty here in Oklahoma. It's interesting and concerning about the distribution of your private information via your credit card company. You might want to follow up on that. Check your credit card company, see what information they're dispersing and where they're sending it. So we need to be more than ever concerned about privacy because the government feels they have a right to your privacy. We saw this during COVID where they felt like they had a right to your private medical records and the right to make that known to your employers and etc. They do not. This is your private information. We have to remind people because you can get in this loop of information, misinformation, disinformation, malinformation that's they blame us, but it's coming from the left most of the time, if not all of the time. And this idea that, they have a right to your private information. They do not. So let's I will constantly remind you of your rights here on this show. You cannot listen to this show and not be reminded of your constitutional God-given rights. So thank you for tuning in this morning. We're looking at 7:12 a.m. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to the Jake Merrick Show on Freedom 96.9.
Yeah, I like that heavy metal in the morning.
Yes.
You can tell you
Got
get
a
up
skillet.
early. Right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. They have the rights to your prayer. Remember they were trying to get those Catholic, what are you praying for in the IRS? It's not just medical. They wanted to know what you're praying for.
Really?
Especially the 501c3.
I don't remember this. Wow. Yeah.
And they were asking those nuns what their prayers were, and they're trying to shake them down. Man, yeah, they're getting into all forms of our personal business.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
It's coming again. A rebellion.
Yeah.
You ever wonder why the rebellion's always like a pitchfork and poor, dirty-faced farmers? I think of like young Frankenstein where they got the pitchforks and the flames.
Right, yeah.
Because they're coming after the food, brother.
They
It's a
are.
whole other subject.
It
We
is.
need to get in that. 4 corporations own 50% of the world's seeds.
Exactly.
Do you know
The
they're only allowed to
seeds.
eat like a tenth of the variety of foods that's out there? I got to get into this with you. That's
Mhm.
nutrition.
Yeah.
You're into nutrition?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I've got problems right now, man. There's a lot of things we're eating.
I'm telling you.
We're not getting those deep earth minerals because they're spraying fertilizers, and then when Ukraine gets busted for fertilizer, what in the world's gonna do?
Wow.
Chickens, man. I got chicken tractors that plow up and fertilize naturally. Did you know a bean makes nitrogen? It's called nitrogen fixer. Anyway, we can get
Can
into
you hand me
that.
that? Can you hand me the keyboard? Sorry.
Yeah, we get into that, but that's a whole nother subject. But yeah, man, you're right. It's a spiritual battle.
It is. Is the stream officially live?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Just did these glasses. I'm in that phase where me and my wife are sharing glasses.
Oh yeah.
40, over 40.
So hey, I can direct people to the Facebook page at 96.9. They just okay, sweet.
Oh, this is live right now.
What's up, guys? If you see me.
They can't hear you.
Okay.
Do you want me to move that screen when that thing's not in there?
It's okay. We'll move it in a
Right now,
second.
the thing is that camera stuck in there, so I'm just trying to get it.
Man, I look big. I have 3 layers on because of all the cold weather.
Let's see if I can get both of you guys in there.
Yeah.
You're the host, man. Sure. Cover
We can
me
move
up.
it.
I'm fine with
We'll
it.
just have you move closer that way.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Move
There you go.
closer.
Sweet. That'd be good.
There we go. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. How's Nicole?
She's doing good. She's doing good. Yeah. Her and my youngest, they got I think my youngest got strep. She's got antibiotics and everything. So,
All right, 10 seconds,
you know,
guys.
other than that, we're good.
Okay.
Welcome back, everybody. It is 7:16, and I can't tell yet. I don't know if it's snowing yet. Haven't got an update, but I'm pretty sure the roads are still drivable. So I think you're safe. I think you can go to work. I think if you call in, your boss is not going to believe you. So you may have to think of another excuse. So I have here this morning Jason Thomas. Jason has recently, in a recent turn of events, has stood up and spoken for not just his family, but for all family. You know, I wanted to have him on to talk about that because I think it sets a great example for all parents out there who are interested and concerned about what's happening in public schools, what they're being taught, you know, and on beyond what they're being taught with as far as the basics, reading, writing, and arithmetic, what else is going on, and what do we need to do? What action do we need to take when there are concerns that we have? So, Jason, thank you so much for being here with me this morning.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So, got your mic turned on now. We're good.
Yes,
So, now I do want to get to some of the other things you're doing, like your blue collar development.
Correct.
I mean, you're doing an amazing thing. I want to touch on that, but first, I mean, the theme of today is kind of school boards. Later on, I have Scott Hassan coming on, who's running for Deer Creek School Board, a true conservative. So, you know, I want to get to that first. We'll get to some of the other things you're doing in just a second. But you know, if we need some more time, we can always pull you in at the end of the show to wrap up. So tell me about this experience with speaking at the school board. I know that your heart is not to dox anybody, not to call anybody out or vilify anybody live. That's not your heart. You really want to talk about the deeper issue of what's going on in schools. So I'm going to just turn it over to you, and you can just say what you wanted to say this morning.
Okay, thank you, Jake. Well, I just wanted to say, first of all, the school boards are representative. There are people in our community. We elected them, and I have no qualm with them. They are salt of the earth people, and that's the conduit which we speak through.
Yeah.
So that is the correct thing to do, is go to your school board member privately and meet with them and see if they can resolve problems issue. You know, we don't go to the media like the news and everything wants us to, not unless we have to, and there's silence.
Have you tried to do that personally? Have you been able to?
And that's my first way, was to try to work it out with people.
Wonderful.
You know?
And have you had success with that, with scheduling a meeting with your school board members?
That's kind of the problem. We don't have a good communication.
Right.
You know, so
that's why I asked, because I think others that I've talked to have tried to communicate with their school board,
Oh, yeah.
but that's been the frustration, is they can't seem to have a meeting.
The word stonewalling comes up, but I don't know. Just no communication.
Right.
You know? And it's, you know, it goes deeper. The Bible says in Ephesians 6:12, we don't fight flesh and blood.
That's right.
We fight principles and powers.
Yeah.
Now, I was teaching this to my little kids. I got 6 kids and 4 adopted from the Cherokee Nation. We're all Cherokee. And Cherokee has a saying for this, Anadisco why. It means, what are the people saying? The wise chiefs would go to the people first and see what they were saying before he would make a decision.
The wise chiefs.
Well, that's all I'm asking for here. But, you know, we don't fight against flesh and blood. We principles and powers. And I was teaching my little kids this, and my little girl, you know, she goes, Daddy, I don't like my principle either. And I said, oh, no, not those kind of principles. We're talking about this.
Principality, yeah.
We're talking about values, you know. And so, you know, a lot of people in our community, same way. I mean, they're like, want to fight principles. No, you don't. We're going to talk about the values.
That's good. No, it's not about fighting principles. It's about fighting principalities.
Correct.
That's good.
Correct. You know, so we do a lot of communication with our school board members, and we were able to resolve a lot of this. So this happened to me back to 2021, and it's all, you know, now we're on to a broader fight, is why our young men are coming out of that school. And I do hiring service. I get people who love construction jobs. I mean, some of our young men are 21 years old and make $55 an hour working with government. They have to be clean, no drugs in the system, driving record, no background. I mean, it's a high bar nowadays. You know? And so we get them into a debt-free lifestyle, and it's not coming from the school, you know, it's coming from an employer, and I had to pave a way. You know, I don't have a college degree, but I don't have any debt, you know, so I was able to hire a business coach. Some of the greatest business coaches in my life gave me a degree in my own business.
Wow.
So, you know, the principles of that, you know, not being able to read a tape measure, I see it all the time, the guys coming out of there. I'd say 2 out of 5 people can read a tape measure. And let's, you know, before we get too far, it's not just tape measures. I'm talking about fractions. They're not coming out of our public school system with fractions. So that's something they need in life,
Very
even
basic.
to cook, half a cup of flour, a quarter tablespoon of salt, they
Right.
need to know fractions. And so we're reestablishing a line of communication that schools are not doing. So it's all coming from leadership. You need to be able to get with your school boards, and you need to be able to get administrators that are in closely aligned with the values of the people. We've had a whole generation of people coming through our school system in my district out west, and they are not being aligned with the culture of the people.
Right.
It's a different culture, and in my opinion, an out-of-state culture, because it's like you said, it's a very conservative place, very religious place. They're not coming out there with any of that, and not prepared for the world. We'll have guys coming through with hoodies on, and tennis shoes and perfect white. The young people love tennis shoe collecting,
Yeah.
and they'll be perfect white tennis shoes, and I'm just like, son, you're gonna get smudges on the white tennis shoes out in the workforce.
You're talking about when they're coming to your place of business,
Yeah,
when
my
you're training
place
them
of
to work.
business.
Right,
They're just
right.
not being prepared. So these are principles and powers, and especially for the young men that are coming out of our school system. They're just kind of, in my opinion, kind of being dumbed down, like what happened to my son at school.
Right.
So I would advise that people go see how the advisory committees propose a superintendent of the school and how it gets in there. We need to find out where the tip of the spear is there, where they're coming in the door, these other values opposite of our community.
Right. I think that's a key point. I mean, you're talking about even out of state values, values that are foreign to Oklahoma, coming into Oklahoma, setting up in our schools, and then influencing our kids downstream.
Jake, it goes deeper than that. It's even out of this country.
Talk to me.
influences.
Yes.
Okay. So if you want to go down the rabbit hole,
Let's
here's
go.
the go. Okay. Google 501c dark money in Oklahoma school. Okay. And you're going to find a lot of influences, and there are all these different alphabetical and all these charitables, and they give out awards to school boards, and they hold them up, and they find out.
Yeah.
And we just got through going through Martin Luther King Day, right?
Right.
He dreamt of the future that we would have people judged by the content of their character. So it's easy to see the character. You don't need an advisory board. School board members, please look up these people on Facebook. They put everything out there. They're very braggadocious, the arrogant, the cocky.
Are you saying there's an advisory board set up to advise our school board?
Yes.
Okay.
On who to pick for superintendents and higher up, and that's where they want. It's very easy for them to spend a little bit of money outside the state interest I'm talking about.
Sure.
Spend a little money and to be able to get legal backing, and the legal backing comes down as intimidation, and intimidation is part of the problem why people don't speak up.
Is this coming to
Mama
the-
bears in the school? You see a lot of
Oh,
them.
yeah.
They just cry and cry and cry and cry until they leave the school district. Loads of them have left my school district,
Wow.
teachers included. And
Lots
the
of frustrated
great thing
parents.
is that teachers, can I give out my number in case a teacher that has left or been
If you
forced to
feel
resign?
free, if you want to.
If you've been a teacher and you've resigned, I'm collecting a lot of affidavits. If you want to come, keeping them in sealed envelopes. So when we get a new leadership, God willing, we get a good one, that they'll re-look at these cases that were teachers that were forced to resign and students that were forced to move out our district. See if we can get those back in
Yeah.
there. Breaks my heart, all these good people. I know many, Jake, many have left, and they just cry and they're intimidated. And again, there's no communication. Why?
Did
I
you want to
get
give out your
punished?
phone number?
Yes.
Now, just so you know, this is
We
going to
can.
go over all over Oklahoma, so you may be getting calls from all over
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
Let's make it happen. That's my
Okay.
theme for this year. Make it happen. So
I
you
love
can
it. Make it happen.
Yeah,
I
I
love
call
it.
it pound sign. I don't know what the
Hashtag?
Okay,
There you go.
I'm old school.
Right.
Make it happen. So you'll see a lot of things. Yeah, it's 405-601-4848. Call me up, and if you know somebody that needs a job too, that we got so many of these giant. These jobs are on big job sites,
Right,
So
right.
they're not little, they're not residential. What people know about construction is not what we do. Commercial fire suppression systems, securities, alarms. Talk about job security. Are you going to have more surveillance systems in America or less? I mean, you tell me.
I think it's going up.
Okay, we're installing those and make good money. So job security like you've never
Nice.
seen.
Yeah, and you're talking about helping kids that have no college degree.
Yeah.
They're coming in and you teach them the
I
skill.
want them to have no college degree because one, they're younger and they're be able to get in there and do apprenticeships. We're bringing back apprenticeships. That word's kind of dying out in our
Right.
community. Older, wiser men seeking younger, eager to learn men, and we cultivate communication in between. That's what my
That's great.
firm does. Yeah.
That's great. I mean, that's a basic skill that's lost too, is just basic communication. And tying that back to
Yes.
the origin of our conversation, talking about communicating with the school board.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have communication in a good marriage.
Yeah.
You have to have communication in a good workplace. You have to have communication with your school board.
Right.
It's all about communication,
Influence,
and that seems
too.
to be the breakdown. And that's what's so frustrating. That's what I'm seeing in school boards is this big wall of separation between the elected officials, the school board members, and the parents. And what I'm hearing is the frustration from parents of, even what you did. You stood up so boldly and you spoke to the school board. You spoke directly to the leaders. And then they said thank you. And that was it. I don't know. Have you heard from any school board members since you spoke?
Well, honestly, some of them are a little scared to talk to me. Oh, Jason, I can't talk to you. I'll get sued.
Wow.
Sued. And we have lots of and it's true. They intimidate. They're just the pressure.
Sued by who? The advisory board?
We'll have to follow that rabbit trail
wow.
and see. I
Now,
think it's a lot of intimidation more. They just tell you when you file a appeal, if your kid's been punished, they just tell you nobody's ever won an appeal. And I mean, that's kind of intimidation
Right.
on its own when they tell everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Now tell me about the role of the OSSBA in connection with the advisory board.
I don't know much about that.
Okay.
And I'll be able to be silent on things I don't do a whole lot of research on. People can do their own research on that.
We need to.
And you can talk to your senator.
Yep.
Yeah, you can talk to your senator about that. And my senator is Senator Thompson,
Yep.
Edmund. And they can advise you on what's going on with some of these things. And school board members should be aware.
You
of
should
the
be aware.
advisory. It's just easier. I'm in hiring, and if I just hire people blindly off the street, my company would crash.
Right.
You can't do that. You can't take advice. You have to sit down for hours and here we go, communicate again. I always say, my guys know I say this, but communication solves all problems. Divorce, man and wife don't communicate. The people fighting in Middle East, Muslim and Jews, they don't communicate.
Yeah, there's a breakdown
everything
there.
is just non-communication. We lock those Democrats and Republicans in a room, and we'll make something happen.
Well, tomorrow I actually have Jenny White on the show, and so you don't want to miss that. We're going to be talking about dark money. I personally was impacted by dark money in my campaign. There were multiple grassroots candidates that were impacted by dark money, but now we're hearing about how dark money is actually impacting the school board and what is being passed down and allowed in schools. So very concerning, these outside, out of state, sometimes out of country groups that are helping to fund and influence our entire state, but especially our school systems. I mean, we bring it back to even the universities that are teaching our teachers. They're leaving with this degree, but there's more than a degree. They're leaving with an indoctrination. They're leaving with an entirely reshaped worldview, coming in to now educate our children with a belief and a thought that it is their duty now to pass on that worldview to our children. And so it's no longer about coming to teach them math and science and history, but it's truly about helping kids reshape their worldview. And so very concerning things, especially when you talk about the rise of the social emotional learning, SEL. You need to know what that means, guys. Look up SEL, social emotional learning. This is a huge initiative in our state, and it's something that needs to be avoided because that is going to open the door for teachers to now teach your children how to live and believe and think. We don't need that. We need to let them teach the basics, math, writing, arithmetic, the things that teachers are paid to do by the state. So, man, I appreciate you. And once again, I want to emphasize that it's going to require bold men standing up, using their voice. That's what you did. You gave a great example to the state. Any final words before we go to a break here?
No, I just would like to say, bring back the wood shops. We don't have a wood shop in our classes.
So good.
That's
Absolutely.
Another principle that we're going. You don't have that ag really. I mean, bring back those things where we can stoke fires of interest in these young men's hearts, so they can understand how to lead their family.
That's so good. That's so good. You're listening to the Jake Merrick Show here on Freedom 96.9. Stay with us. You don't want to miss their next guest, Scott Hassan. He's running for Deer Creek School Board, a true conservative. We're going to hear why he's running and what his plans are for Deer Creek. Stay tuned. We'll see you in a second.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything else you want to say towards the end, you're welcome to stick around and make any final
We have
comments.
a wood shop, man.
I know.
It was the only reason I went to school. My son was like you said, they were looking out the window. I'm not going to school. He's planning on not schooling to school. That's what they do to workforce when they get out of school.
Yeah.
They treat it the same attitude as school, where you just cancel.
Right.
That's what's happening.
It's
So
so
I
good.
want to get to that. I wish we could get to that.
Sure.
Because
Let's-
that's the problem.
Did I write that quote there?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. And
Wanna
we're
chat with Scott a little bit?
Oh, yeah, hey.
Okay, hold on, let me get over here, and I don't wanna hang up on him, so turn this off, and I turn the speaker
Yeah,
off.
there's a Keurig in that.
All right, Scott, you're on with Jake this morning.
Good morning,
Hey,
sir.
how you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. I'm ready for Snowmageddon.
I know. Man, it's you never know. You never know.
It's funny. I was reading some of the parents at Deer Creek. Their expectations were that the school would be closed today, and I just put my 12-year-old on a school bus just a few minutes ago.
Oh, good.
He's going to school. We're trying to keep kids in school, not keep them home.
Exactly. Well, hey, Scott, I'm going to get a refresh on my coffee and use the restroom and come right back. So stay with me, and I'll introduce you here in a second.
Okay, I'll be here.
All right, brother.
All right, Scott, we got about 2 minutes. So stand by.
Did I say Senator Thompson or Johnson?
You said Thompson.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Thank God.
You wanna come
I
here
know
real quick?
Senator Johnson. It's a
Meet
long
Tommy
way from
Thompson and his best friend Bo.
Yeah, I mean,
but don't take.
Can you
the
make it in
girls.
2 minutes?
Yeah, it's a Keurig. You don't have to come back on.
I just need black.
Here, bring your cup.
I have my Arnold Palmer.
Oh man, you're one of those. Sometimes I do half. I guess we don't have to go over that, but I sure think it's neat.
No, it's good.
I wanted to admonish
we'll
my
see how
manager.
We'll see how much time we have left at the end.
We're like coaches, and my manager showed me this. His name's Logan Knox, 25-year-old, but man, he's really waking up. You know, his eyes are woken up. And he told me about BlackRock yesterday. I was like, yes,
yeah.
Logan, when young people do that. I was like, yeah, they should know, man. They're getting bad social media system. His social media mine's totally opposite. It's unbelievable.
Right. Oh,
It's
yeah.
just like I have a black son and a white son. They bear hug my black son, and they look at the ground when they walk by my white son.
Who does?
The administrations at school.
Really?
Yeah, man. It's all about skin color.
Wow.
Here they are. If y'all want to see it, this is my whole story, my affidavit, and my appeal. I'll show you. I'll give this to you, Jake, if you want to see
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. That's great.
This is my family. We're a mixed bag of nuts.
I love it.
I'm the cashew.
Light-skinned. I mean, they're light skinned, so I mean.
Well, Cherokees are all light skinned.
Yeah.
You know, some Cherokees actually had blue eyes.
Mm.
Yeah. My great grandma spoke nothing but.
So while we're putting in your new carpet, you'll have more time to take care of the lawn.
All right, Scott on standby. So we're good there.
Or just lay down and relax in your new carpet.
I want to put out an action item too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how to fix it.
Yeah.
A solution. Well, I've already said it. We're going to look at character. Let's have school boards look at character. That's
Yeah.
my solution.
Right. Yeah. Concerning
All
superintendent.
right,
What
30.
you've heard about probiotics is probably
hear you.
wrong.
The character of superintendents.
Yes,
Mhm.
of course.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
the one that hires everybody. He drives the company culture, per
Exactly.
se.
It's
Right.
time to learn the truth about probiotics.
We can't just go and buy it. I can't believe it works like that. And you know, they give them awards for doing a good job at selecting their people. Look at
All right, 10
Pumpkin
seconds.
Try Olay probiotics for a
I
month
sent you
and
links.
see how great a healthy gut can feel. Get $2 off your first month of Align at AlignProbiotics.com.
Talking about things that matter to you, your community, and Oklahoma. The Jake Merrick Show. The new Freedom 96.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. I just want to remind you, it is 7:35 a.m. on this beautiful, blustery, snowy day. It's got to be the ongoing joke all day. Just get used to it. So, but you know, who knows? We may get that 4 inches of snow, and if we do, I will rejoice. So, I'm just glad my daughter's going to school this morning.
It kind of reminds me of that Jerry Seinfeld skit.
What's that?
Well, he says, "Give the weatherman a break. He's trying to predict the future."
It's so true. It's so true. We love you, weathermen of Oklahoma. We love you. You know, it's a school board theme here this morning, and I'm going to go ahead and jump in and introduce my next guest, Mr. Scott Hassan. Scott, are you here this morning? You are here, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Did you have to use the snowplow this morning? Shipped him off to Deer Creek. And the Deer Creek school system, you're running for the school board there. So I want the listeners to know you are. So I love my first guest, Jason Thomas, is an average, everyday guy who is a father with kids in school, saw some concerns, and just stood up and spoke. And it's amazing what happens when you stand up and speak. And I see the same thing happening with you. There's some things that you've seen in the school system that you're concerned with. So instead of sitting back and complaining, you're taking action. And you're actually running for the school board to help implement change. Did I get all that right? Awesome. Uh, yeah. We know how that is, all right. I mean, they need more money. The highest what rate? Wow. Wow. I believe it. You know, Deer Creek is exploding, and it has been for a few years. It is a school district. And like you said the second largest in the state? Is that what you said? Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. It's huge, and people come from all over for the school, and we see that pattern. You have a great school system. People start coming in from all over the state, and then the school system changes. That is something inevitable that happens with growth. Is you have other influences coming in that weren't native to that area, and so you have shifts and changes. And even with the leadership, leadership comes in from outside the community and brings in new ideas. We were talking with Jason earlier about how the school board is influenced by an advisory board that is often out of state and has outside state influences. And so that's concerning because it really detaches. It begins to really infiltrate the community that may have a true conservative values, and suddenly that is being challenged and shifted. And so you mentioned some of the concerning things. Hey, I'm all about shining light into the darkness. So let's shine some light on some of these issues that you've seen in Deer Creek. Mm. Wow. Well, she has nothing that she wants to make known. I'm sure she has ideas. 100%. Right? Mm-hmm. Wait, you got a whole 5 minutes? I mean, it's usually 3.
I had 3.
So Jason got 3. Right?
Right. That's right. Mhm.
Right, right. I mean, we have to rank that malarkey. I mean, definitely Biden takes the top, you know, and Vice President takes second, and then it quickly down to the school board. You know, I was actually last year as the state senator of District 22. I was there at a school board meeting in Edmond Public Schools when we witnessed the school board hand over authority to the superintendent concerning COVID matters. And it was such a disgrace and a debacle that elected officials who were elected to handle certain things, they handed that responsibility over to an unelected official. And, you know, I appreciate what you said at the beginning, that let's start at the top, and at the top is the school board, not the superintendent. But it seems like within the culture of the schools, the superintendent reigns supreme. But there's a reason we have a board, and there's a reason that board is elected from among the people, so that the people can maintain their authority over this government entity called the public school system. The people should still reign supreme over the public school system, and that should be done via the school board. But it appears as though the school boards have been hijacked. They have a governing board now, the OSSBA. And the question is, what is being passed down? What kind of training are they forced to go through? I voted yes on a bill proposed by Senator Jett last year that would have reduced that required training from 12 hours to, I believe, 2 hours. But they have a required 12-hour training, and the question is, what are they being taught? Well, I believe a lot of it is this indoctrination that's teaching them how to separate from parents, and emphasizing all the possible legal ramifications if they actually gave a parent an audience. And so they're just trying to build this wall bigger between the people. And what we're seeing is the growth of government. When we see the growth of public schools, it is the growth of government because there are government schools. So we have to have interaction with and proper communication with the school board, because that is the connection to the people. And so thank you for running and being a voice. I'm curious, is the lady that you're running against, is she an out of the closet socialist, or is she a secret socialist? I mean, has she come out and expressed that? Because that's becoming more and more out of the closet. Those that have these ideas are now being bold about it and saying, yes, I believe we need socialism. So I'm just curious if she said anything to that. Yeah. 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 Right. Well, the teacher-student ratio has to be lower so that they do get more attention. And I think a teacher assistant would be a great idea. So if you could just give the people your info one more time, where can they find you and learn more about your campaign? Mm-hmm. Right. I think
Right.
absolutely, absolutely. I can hear the people rejoice as you're talking. So this is the good kind of conservative values we need. So go check out scottfordeercreek.com. You can check him out on his Facebook page, Scott for Deer Creek. Thank you for your time, Scott. I really appreciate you being on here and for leading the way and being an example for what needs to happen if we want change. You have to take action. So thank you for your time. Amen. Amen. All right. Thank you. You are listening to Freedom 96.9. This is the Jake Merrick Show. I am Jake Merrick. I'm going to come back with some final thoughts and words and maybe another final thought from my guest and friend, Jason Thomas. All right. Stay tuned. We'll see you in a second.
We down?
Hmm?
We down?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he brought up a good point. So the culture is being changed inside. Yeah, socialism. Jake, I see in the counties in Oklahoma on election all red, but yet we have these people. They're deep blue.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not just Democrat. I'm talking socialist, communism, even into Satanism.
Exactly.
Satanism.
Absolutely.
So you know another thing they're doing in the intermediates where they get them, they let them go in the little kids school, and where they also have a video of the little kids testifying. It's called a Fight Hate program. They made a video. So we made a video of the kids testifying to their white guilt. Man, it's sick. Maybe want to throw
In
up.
Piedmont?
Yeah, I got video of it. This happened a year ago, but here's what they got. In the intermediates where they get them, student news. You ever heard of that? They make the kids watch students part of the curriculum.
No, really.
It's CNN. And they go, Dad, what are you freaking out? 'Cause I said, what? CNN, you're part of it. Yeah, we have to watch it. What?
Wow.
And he said, and my kids, oh, Dad, you're freaking out. All this is about global warming. And, so I said, that's what they're trying to do, man. And my kids laugh at me, but they don't get it. It's so subtle, Jake. Student news. So
you want to bring that up?
I was going to bring it up.
Okay, that's
during
good. Let's bring it up, man. People need
Well,
to
I
hear
don't know
that.
if it's still in there, but that's what this is. This is from my kids' testimony. I don't know if it's true or not.
Right.
But it's just little subtle things like that in the newsroom, playing
Wow.
student news. Student news. And you know what? One of the teachers held a sign up at the student walkout. This happened. My daughter missed half her freshman year. Missed valedictorian by 1 point. She was 89.9 because it's freshman year.
Yeah.
And they walked out, and the school district encouraged it, and they had teachers holding signs with their kids. Kids holding a sign, Future Democrat. No joke.
Wow.
They put it on. They were so bold. They put it on they shared a link to this teacher's account on our public, what we pay for taxpayers.
Wow.
There you go. You don't think we're fighting principles?
How many minutes left after we come back?
7 minutes.
Seven.
I just want to plug JTCTrades.com for people that are suffering, that don't want to go through college debt, that feel like a loser like I did, and want to build their own.
Yeah, do that.
properties.
That's good. That's
Okay.
good. We got 7 minutes, so we got some time.
Okay, well, I got an action plan here. If you
Okay.
want to let me say
Sure.
it. Okay. I don't like to have problems. I'm not a complainer. I'm a fixer, man.
That's right.
Did you say 3 minutes? Did you say 3 minutes?
No, we'll have 7 minutes when we come back.
Oh, okay. I don't want to take up all your time. I
No,
just
yeah,
want to get to
yeah.
this and that action plan.
Okay.
This will be my closer.
All right, 10 seconds. Stand by.
That's right. Everything local, all things Oklahoma, right here on the Jake Merrick Show. We have some final thoughts here. I have Jason Thomas in studio with me. Just a little time check. It is 7:53 in case you were wondering. So you still have some time to get to work. You can listen for a few more minutes out in the car if you're in the parking lot waiting. I don't think you'll have a problem getting in. The snow is not yet here. But it is coming according to the news. So stay tuned with that. But I do have my friend and guest Jason Thomas in studio with me, and so he's hung around here towards the end. And I want to get some final thoughts from you. You're here as we heard Scott Hassan running for Deer Creek School Board. Some of the things that he said resonated with you as well.
Correct. Yes, there's a lot of cultural things coming into our school district, and it's student news. Student news is part of the intermediate 5th and 6th graders, and I heard this from my kid, and it's student news is CNN.
Wow.
Part of the curriculum.
And so they call it student
It's
news,
subtle.
but they're just playing CNN?
Well, the culture. See, let's not blame the teachers. Greatest teachers on earth, where I'm at. But it's they just follow the culture led by the leader.
Right. Which is the superintendent?
Yeah, well, of course. In the tip of the spear, it's easy to find the leader.
Right. Well, and as we were talking about with Scott, I mean, the tip of the spear should be the school board at the top.
Well, it should be the parents too.
The parents. Well, the school board, the elected officials represent the people.
Absolutely. They're good people.
They should be anyway, but now they're really, it seems, beholden to the superintendent. They're there to keep the superintendent in check, but it seems like the superintendent keeps them in check.
Yeah.
Along with the advisory board and the OSSBA. And so where do the parents come in? Where is the parent voice? I mean, I've been to many school board meetings, and what I've seen is people given an allowance, a time allowance to speak, and that's it.
Yeah, I
You
got
get to
3
vent.
minutes. He got 5 minutes. That's great. I
Right.
could have done so much.
But what happens after that? What's the follow-up? Is there any, dialogue?
Yes.
Is there any response? No, it's usually not, right? Did you get any
Well,
response?
No, not response for them, but there is follow up. I do have an action plan though, so I, don't
I love
think it's just
action.
well, yeah, complaining. Does the world need more complaining?
I say that all the time. That's why we get along. So,
Yeah, that's
hey,
right.
give us your action
Okay,
plan.
so the solution here for your people: first, gentleness and respect. Go to your school board
good.
members in gentleness and respect, and don't be that heavy metal school board guy. You can YouTube that heavy metal guy.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, but he screams a lot.
Well, I can vouch for that. Being
Yeah.
in the Senate, you get calls and complaints and emails every single day.
Yeah.
And when it starts out with vulgarities, when it starts out with yelling and screaming, I shut down. And I've talked to all the other representatives and senators, and it's the same response. You're not going to get anywhere if you come in just busting open the door, demanding an audience. Guess what? We're most of the time more than happy to meet and talk with people, but we don't like to get slapped. I say we.
Put the
I didn't.
defense on, They'll put
Right.
the armor on.
Right.
Okay.
Come in with gentleness. You get it further.
So the action plan, I got 3 items here. So if you're getting a school board elected, or if you're looking at a new superintendent, I would look at character like Martin Luther King dreamt of.
It's good.
So take the time. It takes a lot of time. Maybe it takes 4 hours. Maybe it takes 4 weeks. Look at this person. Look at their character. Jesus said, "You'll know if a tree bites fruit." You might have to wait a season to see fruit, right? You can't tell in the dead of winter if it's an apple tree.
Yeah.
So take your time. Look at character. Follow the money. We all know that's going to lead you to the place.
That's right.
Okay, follow the money. Follow where the influence. Who recommended? Where did the money come from this influence? Where did they get money for all the legal? Where did they get all the the money? Follow the money, and then interview teachers. Not just the ones that are getting paid. Don't follow that money. Follow the ones that have been retired. They're in your community. You know them. You trust them. They're in the HOA. They're in your neighborhoods. And follow the advice of the teachers that worked underneath that person.
Right.
It's really easy to examine character. I do it in business. Just look at Facebook pages. They're bold and they'll put that out there. What they believe. Look at their friend groups. Those are fruits on the tree. And see if they're kids. See if their kids. If their kids are unruly and they're very radical against their parents. Do you want that person leading your kids? They can't parent their own. And that's where they're going to lead your kids.
These are some of the things I feel like were in our part of our culture years ago, where how your family acted, your interaction with your family and your community really would impact if you got a certain job or if you were elected. I mean, you were more closely looked at concerning those characters, those issues of character.
Right.
And so that is, I believe, an area we need to bring back and emphasize again in this day. So, I said it before, but I appreciate your example. Just like Scott, you guys aren't career politicians. You're not well versed in everything before you go. It's you go, and then all of a sudden you get understanding. And I think that people need to be encouraged to take action. And it could be a small action. For you, it was just standing up and saying, "Hey, this is a wrong done, and it needs to be made right."
And there need to be more. They call us Papa Bears.
Uh-huh.
My wife said, "Don't
There's
don't
Mama
use
Papa.
that. You sound like a truck driver." And I was like, "Okay." No, where they do the Mama Bears, we're Papa Bears. We got to protect the women. They can't just sit there and cry and cry.
Absolutely.
They're protecting their kids. We're protecting them. Let's
Right.
bring back manhood.
That's it.
And I'm glad to hear from Scott from Deer Creek.
Absolutely.
We need to lock arms.
We need
to
strong, godly
stop-
men rising up. Absolutely.
Yeah, we need to lock arms and be able to put our hat in the ring
Yeah,
about what
absolutely.
we're thinking about these education. So I just want to leave you with this, Jake.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is from my manager Logan Knox. And I heard
Okay.
him coaching. We're pretty much
Bring it.
coaching.
We got a
We're
minute
not
left.
doing-
We got a minute left. Bring it.
Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times.
That's
now,
good.
Which this is a cycle. This is a generational cycle. Which cycle where you think, and your listeners are we're at?
I think we're in the time of weak men and hard times.
Yes, sir.
Right there at the end, and it
But-
takes strong men.
There's a sun coming up.
Yes.
Complete the cycle. Hard times.
I
create
love it.
strong men.
Man, that's where we're at. You're listening to the Jake Merrick Show. This is Freedom 96.9. I'll see you tomorrow with Jenny White.
God, I got everything out that I was wanting to do. I can't believe that.
Good.
I was like, God, you're gonna give me 3 minutes. This
no,
3
that's
minute
good.
thing is killing me.
I know. You have to learn to.
No, that's
um,
doing good.
Did
Oh, wow.
I go over on that one? No.
You had extra time. You had about 20 seconds. I gave you a 30. I was like, 30.
Yes.
Oh, all I saw was
It's
this.
a 30.
Oh.
I see that? There's a 3.
Okay.
Oh,
man.
30. Because you can't really go 3 and 0.
Hand
You're saying it's
signal.
a 30.
Funny. That was
No, that's
good,
good.
man. Thank you. Gosh.
I had my timer set too.
Hey, look.
It's yeah.
Jake is an awesome human being.
That's good.
What better compliment than that?
He's a great guy too.
Oh man, Shane Jett. I know God's gathering up all his
Yeah.
hens, all his roosters, man, and who knows, revival. We got
That's
a word for
right.
it in Cherokee. It's Jubilee, but I don't know how to say it. He's teaching me Cherokee.
Oh, is he? Oh, yeah.
He's Cherokee
yeah.
from Shawnee. He's a wolf, and he goes to OBU where my daughter got. You can't believe all this God ties, man. Malcolm Tubbs was just on here, and I was doing a job, and I seen Coach John Jensen was the superintendent, and he you know what happened to him, Malcolm Tubbs?
What?
He adopted him into his family. I said, Coach, what's all this food back here? It was the old locker room, back nasty old cobwebs and stuff, but there's food everywhere.
Yeah.
He said, I give it out to the community, and he took in one of these kids, and he has a really severe